Peace, everyone. It's BlackHighPriestess. Hope you can hear me okay. It's been a minute, not too long. I wanted to just talk about some things with everything happening with COVID. I've had more time to just kind of catch up with Black media, Black gossip, essentially, that's what it is. And, just expand on different things with YouTube. And quite frankly, regretfully so, I I feel like I've in a way lost focus by even knowing about these issues that I'm going to discuss, hopefully briefly. Um, and I I've been in a way trying not to talk about the problems and try to focus on solutions, but I feel like this is a good time because Black people are talking. Um, and we're in a time that's unique because Black men are speaking up in defense of Black women, which is a first in my generation. Um, that I've never seen so many Black men um, speak up against other Black men who hate Black women for no reason. And I've always been very disappointed in Black people because my experiences with Black people have been very poor. And I'm really grateful for the Black people who support me and my role and my brand as Black High Priestess, which is largely about elevating Black women um, and setting higher standards for Black people, the same standards that I was raised with and held to. And, just kind of demonstrating what it's like when you are actually a free Black person and you don't have to go around proving you're Black by being a nigger. And you can actually just be a Black person, a human. And my brand is also about the metaphysical, esoteric, spiritual practices, voodoo, witchcraft, occult science, um, and the cultural relativity to spirituality and the oppression of Black people, and how spirituality is directly related to the spell over Black people that keeps Blacks in a state of, being a nigger or being under a Jim Crow mentality or social structure within our own communities. And just really the preferred inferiority. And I I cannot help but get back to elevating Black women and just kind of teaching and demonstrating different options that Black women have in life other than being marginalized by Black male inferiority. Um, and just kind of discussing how hard it actually is to be a free Black person in a society where Black people are oppressed, often by choice. Um, so that's the perspective I'm coming from. And I think it's important, to kind of chime in as Black High Priestess with a spiritual perspective, but also actually speak as Chastity Unique Smith about um, this viral conversation that Black women are having with each other and Black men are having with each other, but we're still not having amongst one another. A conversation that Kevin Samuel's disrespect of Black women has sparked. And again, I want to focus on the main solution And the main benefit that I see from Kevin Samuels going viral is that we we can tangibly qualify and quantify um, the fact that Black men are not all castrated, because Black men are speaking up and Black men are defending Black women. Um, so I want to focus on that, as and just kind of give that disclaimer of, that's the main thing that has stuck out to me that can be a solution in talking about Black love, and using Kevin Samuel's discussion of the problems to create a solution. And so I think the main thing, again, Black people, please use your social media, use your timeline, use your power of speech and social media, use your platforms and any authority you have to promote the Black people who are actively doing things that are creating solutions. Promote the Black people who are not scamming, but who are genuinely experts at their craft, who have tangible people and word of mouth and reviews that prove that they are creating solutions for Black people, and that they are Black, and that they are doing it out of the calling to elevate our race, not just for money and profit. Please stop using your platforms to talk about people who have enough clout for doing absolutely nothing but destroying the fabric of the revolution by helping white supremacy pit us against each other. Um, that's the only thing that I can really promote other than Christ. And Christ is more of a Vodun spiritual topic. And right now I just want to talk about the state that Black America is in terms of media, and what we talk about and what we prioritize um when we're not being revolutionaries, and why why I think the best thing for true Black revolutionaries at this point is to actually start. Don't try and save and try and archive and have backup and try and get monetized. Actually start getting off of social media. If you follow me and you're spiritual and you understand the importance of incorporating spirituality into your revolution, stop following the trends and start getting with survival and homesteading, and getting back to old fashioned community, not online community, not virtual reality community, because that's where all the niggers are, but getting off of social media and getting in society and accepting the fact that we are in a different time period. So when you get into superior realms of social circles and socialization, it's not going to be only Black people unless you leave America, because Black people are inferior in America. And the things that I discuss are usually specifically to discussing about the races in America, not in foreign countries that have a different sense of culture and tribalism. Um, so, without further ado, I just want to jump into the topic again, both from a spiritual perspective and as Chastity Unique Smith, as a female who fits the criteria, I'm a model. All right, I'm not overweight. I will never have overweight problems. I never have. I had a father who who was a drill sergeant, a Vietnam veteran, honorably discharged, a survivor, a killer. So I had a father who would not have fat, obese children. And I had a mother who had very high class. And even though she came from the projects and the gutters of the west side of Chicago, she knew she was better than that. And she knew her children were going to be better than that because she knew we deserved better. And so she raised us in a place where we could be better by definition. And she saw that dealing with white racism was better and more productive than dealing with black inferiority and black hatred that you will only encounter in the inner city of Chicago, where we come from, where I come from, my family comes from, my parents. So coming from that perspective and coming from a perspective of a black female who has been called by black and non-black people white girl because of the superior femininity that I conduct myself with and because of the higher intelligence that I express myself with. And intelligence doesn't always have to be you verbally expressing your knowledge and wisdom. Intelligence is in the way you dress, in the way you carry yourself. Intelligence is intellect is problem solving skills. IQ is problem solving skills. It's your ability to figure out puzzles, to put things together. And most black people don't have high IQ. Most people. It's not just a black thing in America when you're talking about IQ. But when you're talking about this discussion of high value men and women that black people are now discussing because they're inferior, because superior people have no need to discuss this. We live in high quality and high value. But when you deal with black people, you're dealing with an inferior race, and so it goes viral that somebody discusses what the standards that high class people have, because black people aren't used to high class, they're used to low class gutter shit. So it is a viral discussion that a black man is discussing um, openly the standards that high class people have. Um, there are black people who've been talking about this for years, like Kevin Samuels. But when you are in a time of Black Lives Matter and protesting and Occupy Wall Street and the Me Too movement and Brexit and Blexit and Left Out and Get Out and Wakanda Forever, and when you're in that generation, bashing black women doesn't fly anymore. And this is where we are. And like I said, that's the one benefit that I see, that it's not just white women with the Me Too movement, and it's not just black men with Black Lives Matter, and it's not just white men with Make America Great Again, MAGA or MGTOW, but it's also black women with, Left Out and Blexit and, just basically and even black men don't cheat. That's something that is beneficial to black women. It's setting a standard for black women that black women deserve. And so when you know where to look and when you pay attention, there, black women are protesting too. But what's more important is that black men are speaking up on behalf of black women openly and to the conscious community. Whereas before, the conscious community was nothing but misogynist, unsuccessful men teaching other men how to pimp black women and hate white men. And the conscious community has moved from inferior black men training other men to be inferior and to stay inferior to white men and black women, to teaching black commerce and Black family structure and homeschooling and health and wellness and Black psychology and Black spirituality. So, in response to Kevin Samuel's interview with the Wino, which is Tasha K, um, I wanted to respond to the interview after having said all that. Um, I watched it. I started watching Tasha K when with the whole exposing Derek Jackson, and while I appreciated her initially, um, indulging in her channel and her gossip would be very toxic. Um, and so this is kind of the point where I'm kind of drawing a line because I think Tasha K is a successful sister. I think she's gorgeous, but the energy, the spiritual energy surrounding her is very repugnant. It's very repugnant. So the Tasha K interview, I think it was kind of one of those last straws, beast of burden, bulls, Taurus recently had a birthday, which, I'll talk about that soon. But it's kind of one of those it's like getting to the last straw, and and I'll say this. When we're discussing high value men and women and discussing the things Kevin Samuel says and Tasha K's channel, I think Tasha K is very universal, but most of the gossip that she talks about it's the same Atlanta Black Hollywood gossip. Um, with Atlanta black stars that are relevant to Atlanta Black Hollywood and to Black America, who indulge in Black entertainment. Um, but when it comes to, I think she's successful. I think she has a great brand, and I think she's talented. She reminds me of Sita from Sita's World, from that BET show when we first. I don't know if Hype Williams did what, because Hype Williams was doing a lot of computer generated stuff at that time. But Sita's World, Sita baby, Miss Sita baby. Like she really reminds me of Miss Sita. And she had like the short hair, the big ass, and she was like a digital she had like a digital show. And I don't know if y'all remember Cedar's World. I think it was kind of like a hip hop gossip thing she had going. So Tasha K very much reminds me of that, and I think it's a great brand. I think it's authentic and original. And I think if you're gonna do the loud Black woman, that's how you do it, unapologetically. And originally, be original. Don't act like a Black woman. Be that. And that's what I love about Tasha K. But when it comes to the discussion of high value women and the things Kevin Samuel discusses and her interview, I want to say this, just critiquing things, from a spiritual radar. Um, she's constantly smitten by these Black men that she discusses. She's so smitten by Derek Jackson, Action Packing Jackson, she calls him. She was way too smitten by Kevin Samuels for me. She was way too intrigued and enchanted by his presence for me. And these things, as people get older, and I'm not talking about old, I'm just saying as you get older, as you grow up, as you mature physically, hormonally, sexually. um I've never been married, physically. um Spiritually, that's a different thing, which I'll discuss in upcoming uploads. But all I can speak is for my observations of marriage is that it's I don't want to. I'm not judging Tasha K. I'm just like I said, with my spiritual radar. When you are a successful woman, you can let motherhood or wife duties fall to the wayside when you are the breadwinner or the success. Um, Not saying that that's her situation, but uh, being constantly smitten and flirting and making little remarks and saying, and then sprinkling and then constantly sprinkling out my husband this and my husband that. Um, it's great for her show, but from a spiritual perspective, Black women need consistency. And a lot of sisters watch her show for gossip, and so it can be confusing when you're constantly enchanted by these other men on your show, and you're you know um you have a overtly sexual brand and show, but you want to be looked at as a married woman. And that's kind of the energy Tasha K was just giving me, which it kind of repelled me on a spiritual level. And I'm dealing with the spiritual energy. She's just a representation of the spirit behind the successful woman energy, and this high value woman discussion that we're having. Just looking at the interview, um, and just critiquing her and what I seen the spirit behind her energy, um just consistently, I just feel like, Tasha K, if you're going to, and for, I'm talking to sisters, I don't want to talk to her, but I'm talking to sisters who watch me and everything. If you looking at these women, if you're gonna be the loud Black woman who's overtly flirtatious and constantly talking about raunchy sex, and just promoting um brought hoishness on man and woman's both side. If that's what you're promoting, but then you want to be seen as this a married woman, and I got a man, and then sitting up there with the nerve to say, I almost gave up on Black men, but oh my God, what you say is right. Why are women so mad? What you say is right. Pick me hoe shit. That's the pick me hoe talk. But then turn around and admit that you gave up on Black men. And the reason you have a husband is because most likely you got one of these beta men who will put up with your hoishness, frankly, and who will put up. And I'm not saying that she's a hoe. I'm saying she generates that energy where it rubs off on her, where she just openly flirts and is openly turned on and open, even though she's wants to be seen as a married Black woman, and got up there with a nerve to say, and this is the shit that grinds my fucking nerves with sisters who used a platform as these pick me hoes, um, to got up there with the nerve to say Black women ask you how you got a husband. Stop. You know what? Stop. Because Tasha K's sisters who are high value, the ones that kind of stand, not your loud Black ignorant ghetto ass, who's disgusting, quite frankly, in your spirituality and what you and the energy you keep on your show. You know, don't nobody want the type of men who would deal with you, sis. And this is what when I want to keep it real from the perspective that I said I'm coming from in the beginning of this upload. When you are like that, you can be successful. Being the ignorant, the not ignorant, but being the loud, um, ghetto, raunchy, hypersexual, not feminine, just sexual, and keeping that whole energy around you. You can be that, and you can get a man. But it's not the type of men that sisters with high class who know how to carry and poise ourselves and who work out and actually keep our body tight because we know being high value and we know a woman's power is in her beauty. And no one had to tell us that because our mothers taught us and showed us what it means to be high value. And we have enough intelligence, which is problem solving skills. It's nothing to do with having a degree. When you're an intelligent black woman, you have a problem. You're a black woman in America. That is a problem. And how you solve that problem is not being a stereotype and being above and beyond. That's intelligence, solving the problem of being a black woman who is oppressed at all angles. How do you solve that problem? You keep your influence by maintaining your feminine beauty. Because if you're intelligent as a woman, you know there's power in beauty. Black women widely are not intelligent. That's why Black women widely do not put in or do not invest in natural beauty and femininity. They invest in cosmetics and being a hoe because that's the type of men that they can get. And I will just, all I'm saying is this, Tasha K, you got your nerve. You got your fucking nerve. You got your fucking nerve, Tasha K, with the shit you said on the interview, with the impressions that you give, and they want to be considered a sister who won some trophy by getting a black man. Don't nobody want no nigga who will want you. Not no sisters who cover up and pay attention to how they eat and who don't drink wine and tequila or whatever all the time, because they're practicing womanhood, not monetization. You see, this fuckery that we got going on. You're gonna get you a beta man. You're gonna get you a man who's okay with you being the breadwinner, who's okay with you being um loud and obnoxious and hoish, and okay with you putting yourself out there like that, so he can be justified when he, starts flirting and paying attention to other women and acting hoish behind the scenes because you're in the spotlight all the time and he slithering around in the darkness behind the scenes. Peace, question everything. So all I'm saying is when you keep your marriage a secret, it's either because you're smart and intelligent enough to know you got a good thing going and it ain't nobody's business because people like to ruin happy marriages. That's human nature in America, not in indigenous culture, but in America. And it is, quite frankly, it's human nature. Jealousy is a form of human nature. And when you have treasure, you hide it, you bury it, you don't flaunt it. Ignorant Negroes like to flaunt their treasure, and that's why they lose it. That's why their chains get stolen, and that's why their wives and husbands get stolen. Or you just got a lot to hide. You got skeletons in your closet, you're unhappy, you're putting on a facade, and you're keeping things a secret because when the cameras turn off, nothing is as you're presenting. You're a fraud. And all I gotta say is the energy I got is Tasha K. That's why I call you the Wino, because I don't even want to put your name up. You got your fucking nerve with some of the shit you said on that interview, and and acting like a goddamn pick me hoe. And so I'm through with you. And you're in that disgusting and then disgusting women you have on your show. You're disgusting women on your show with wanting to expose their friends and expose celebrities and expose this and that, and all the gossip, all the slander and everything. You're a form of Jezebel that the Bible talks about, you see. So I can't promote you and you got your nerve up there talking about some black women gonna ask you how you got a husband, and I you write about what you say and this that, but I almost gave, bitch, you gave up on black men like every other black woman with some sense did, and then you realize you can make money off of acting like you act. When black women keep it real, she will let you know the black man is inferior. And most sisters deal with black men that settle in. Because a sister like me can do better than a black man. So it's not that I'm saying I'm above black men. I'm saying there are no black men available for me. The black men who are available and eligible and on their king shit, they don't date black women. They don't date black women with my texture of hair or my concentration of melanin. Or they're already married to a black woman and they can't do shit for me but treat me like a side hoe. You understand? So that's the position most high value black women are in. There are no black men available for us. So when you can do better than a black man that is widely, majorly, mostly inferior and castrated, y- you're not you're not out here playing into you're not out here playing into this black rhetoric of black men and women, kings and queens, where black people are not so great. You don't have to be a pick me hoe when you can do better than black men. You don't have to cater to the black man's ego. And that's what a lot of sisters do. And so I really don't got nothing to say about what Kevin Samuels got up there and said. I don't have a problem with Kevin Samuels. Part of me, I feel he's very sensitive and I relate to him on a higher class level. I think I would be great friends with him because he has high class. But the word moist that I hear brothers using and stuff, that is probably the best word that I would say describe him because he's moist, he's sensitive, um he has a feminine energy to him. So I have nothing wrong with the things that he says or what he said in that interview. Um I all I feel is I feel that he started off actually helping and some of the hype caused his channel to start being geared toward issues that mostly affect black people because again black people are inferior. Superior people don't need to be taught how to have high class and how to be of high value within the margins of their goddamn gender and sexuality. That's slave shit. You have to teach slaves who only know how to breed for a living how to be men and women because the highest level of maturity they have is that of a infant. You see, that's what black people have to deal with in being black in America. We have to deal with the rest of our race in America who are mostly have the maturity of an infant. So I don't have a problem with what Kevin Samuel says. What I have a problem with is how people respond and all this give, and I have a problem with the fact that black women constantly have to want to wait for someone to speak up for them. I have a problem with the foolishness of black women who don't seem to know how to speak up for themselves with intelligence. The reason it's easy to ridicule black women is because all the ridicule is often true and pretty much everyone has had a negative experience that Tommy Sotomayor or Kevin Samuels or anyone, some of these light skinned hoes be talking about, or some of these white women who date black women who like to bash black women who date black men. who like to bash black women and think that they're better because they're white. The fact of the matter is, all of these people are right about what they say about black women. But there's more black women that these things don't apply to who are being oppressed because other black women like to make us look bad. Other black women like to present this ideology that they are the end all be all, that it's normal to be obese, that it's normal to be loud and not know how to lower your voice. I talk loud, my family talks loud, we talk loud. But I was also taught how to speak in a library because I have education and I spent a lot of time in bookstores and libraries. So I know how to be quiet and not disturb peace. There's balance to these things, and you can be unapologetically black, and you can be from the hood, you can be even from the ghetto like me. You and still have high class. You can grow up with parents who didn't speak proper English, but were smart enough to teach you the importance of speaking Spanish and being able to speak to other cultures. But when the reason it's easy to bash black women is because black women make it easy and because everyone has had a negative experience with black women, from your mama to your baby mama to and again, I'm coming from a perspective of one of these high value women who's a model. Black women are some of the nastiest women on the planet. And when I say nasty, I'm not talking about hygiene. When it comes to hygiene, black women are the cleanest. But when it comes to attitude, black women are the nastiest to other black women, to other women. And the more feminine you are, the more nasty you can rely on black women to be, whether they are feminine or masculine or a sister or a down ass real sister revolutionary, or whether they one of these white Marilyn Monroe wannabe prima donna gold digging hoes, or whether they are a awkward black girl, or whether they are a spiritual you know, spiritual energy reader, whatever, you can guarantee goddamn she got a nasty attitude if you look better than her. If your hair is naturally longer than her, if your skin is darker and glows brighter than her skin does without makeup, if your nose is a little pointier and your eyes are a little more slanted and almond shaped and catty, and your lips are a little more fuller and you look a little bit more like a Barbie doll, you can guarantee at some point her self-hatred is going to show. But it gives nobody the right to profit off of the pain that that woman had to go through to get any ounce of self-esteem that she has, to put on some blonde weave to feel better, or to put on some long nails to feel better, or to put on some faux locks to feel better, or to put on some hooker heels to feel better. Whatever she has to do to feel better about the fact that the whole world is against her and her men only contribute to it, whatever she has to do, leave her the fuck alone. Because I could bash black women more than any of these niggas. They haven't been through half of the shit I've been through with sisters. But I still became BlackHighPriestess because I knew the root of the problem was not her, it's our men. Until black men stop making hip hop music that teaches the black woman that the most she will ever be to him is a piece of sexual trash, she's gonna wear blonde weave and have an attitude and wear snuffleupagus eyelashes and wear fake stuff and try to do her damnedest to look white. because she sure don't know how to be beautiful as a black woman because black men hate her. And at the end of the day, she knows that. Every time she goes out, or every time she gets on social media, she's confronted with black men that hate her. And every time she gets in Hollywood entertainment, she's confronted with white people that erase her. So, yes, it's easy to bash black women, but doing it makes you inferior. Elevating black woman, the hardest thing in the world to do, because the black woman is heavy, because the black woman is bearing the pain of the world with no help, because our men are dead, are castrated, and our men, quite frankly, are our enemy at this point. And it's been like that since hip hop. And black women have been silent about it. So my only really critique is, black women, you let this happen. You keep having sex with these men, you keep listening to the music, you keep staying silent, and you keep mistreating other black women as a solution instead of exercising sisterhood and saying no. That's why black women join the LGBT movement, because that's where they can be accepted and treated with with the dignity and respect that you won't get from black men, and that she's too unattractive to get from white men. When you're a feminine black woman, you don't need, you the LGBT community is where all the men are at, because all the black women who are lesbian, they are the only black men in our community. Lesbian black women are the only men the black revolution has. And I figured that out at a young age, because I was raised to know the difference between a superior man and an inferior one. But a lot of black women weren't taught that. They were taught that we have to feel bad for black men because he's oppressed. But high value women know that's not the truth. The truth is the black man is inferior and he wants to pimp you instead of do better. So you, black woman, have to do better. And it's your fault that you were afraid to date outside your race. It's your fault you were afraid to wear your natural hair and be unapologetically black and attract the love and attract real love, because you were afraid of the reality that when I go natural, it's only going to be a certain type of man hollering at me, and it's going to be broke black men or white guys. You were afraid of the reality of being a real woman and a real sister, because you were afraid of the reality of being single, because our men are non-existent in America when you're a real woman. And no, you deserve a protector and a provider, not an abusive little boy who's going to put all the accountability on you. Peace, Tyrone. If someone does coke to feel better, accept it, just go with it. um Yeah, you said that. I never said that. So you make zero sense. Hang it up. Yeah, just leave because you said that. And this is what I'm saying, sisters. Tyrone Tucker is a perfect example of the inferiority of black men. He has no ability to even process the black woman's intellect. That's why, like, my next upload is going to be on the difference between dating black men and white men, um, as an experienced sister. So again, these are perfect examples of black women. The only problem with you, it's not your weight, it's not how you were raised, it's not because you're bitter. The only problem with you is you won't leave niggas alone. You won't tell the truth about black men. And some of you all won't do it because you're married to black men and you have black sons. That shouldn't cause you to compete with other black women who don't have those privileges. You know, all you black women, you know better. And it's your fault you chose black men over sisterhood. Because this is what you get. You get stupid niggers like Tyrone Tucker. You get inferior niggers who want to change the narrative to something that they can control. Because they can't control us real black women who can do better than the black man, who are superior to black men. They can't control us. But when you're a black woman who indulges in things that Kevin Samuel or things that people like him say, you've already lowered yourself to being on a level where black men are. And black men are trash in America. They are something to be discarded. And Tyrone Tucker and all these and a lot of these other niggas is proof of that. And if you're a black woman who doesn't agree, well, it's either because you're stupid and are deaf, dumb, blind, and ignorant, or it's because you have good black men in your life, and so this discussion isn't for you. Because if you black women who have the privilege of knowing superior black men, you're probably light skinned, you're probably mixed, or you're probably one of these sisters that they're talking about who you got everything and you just an ignorant, bitter black woman who doesn't know how to appreciate what you have because you're winning, but you don't appreciate it. You still want to compete with sisters like me who don't have anything from black men but abuse. So this is a lot of you sisters got to understand your problem is the fact that you listen to these guys and you spend time and some and to you sisters who are angry and are discussing Kevin Samuels because you don't like what he says and you disagree and you think he's bashing black women, let me tell you something. You are the ones he's talking about. If you agree with what he says but you don't agree with how cool, but if we he shouldn't even really be a discussion. And a lot of you sisters who I I want to get on, I want to say this and I want to get on his show. You are the sisters he's talking about. If you're a sister who has a problem with Kevin Samuels and you are indulging in this hype, it's because you're overweight. It's because you probably are one of these women who has a man but you aren't really happy with your level of beauty and you question the means to which you got this man because you see other sisters like me who don't have a black man because we have high standards and because we don't want to sleep with your man even though we could. And you are the ones who know that sisters like me can fuck your man, but because we have more value, we don't. And you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, so you want to blame Kevin Samuels. I'll put it like this, sisters. You better take it from Kevin Samuels, who's being nice, because if high value women start telling you the truth, it's going to sound like Mean Girls. So, black women, just stop paying it, leave niggas in the dust. Like I said in my last upload, you don't have to date them. You don't have to deal with them. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to be around them unless you do, unless you got babies by them and you're married to one. But other than that, you don't need to be around niggas. You when you're single and you don't have kids and you're a model and you're intelligent and you can do what you want and go anywhere and you know how to make money and make a living, you know, and you've been through hell, but it doesn't always show, and you're really a free black woman, you really shouldn't be dealing with black men at this point because the only black men available, if you're from Chicago like me, are baby daddies. The rest of them don't date black. You see, high value black men don't date black women unless you wear weave. So I I just want to say that um Black women, listening to Kevin Samuels and getting mad at him is not your solution. Your solution is to get to a point where you don't have to deal with niggers, where you could deal with a different class of men. And you don't have to be a model to do it. Most Black women who are married to Black men are obese, ignorant. Some of them can't even cook, you know, and these are the women Black men are procreating with. So at the end of the day, when you're really a high value woman, um, it's not always going to be Black men who are eligible to for you. Get used to that. Unless you want to keep dealing with inferior men who have the maturity of an infant and the entitlement complex of of a god, and um who really hate you. Black women, Black American man hates you. He hates you because white women told him to. So it's your fault for still supporting a man who has done nothing for you in the grand scheme of things. From a spiritual perspective, Black woman, it's your fault for actively supporting a man. And Black women, we are the perpetual orgasm fakers, because the whole Black revolution has been Black women elevating Black men. And what did they do the moment they got accepted by white women? They started bashing you, and that's all the Black man knows how to do: bash Black women. And the ones who don't are broke, and they have baby mamas to answer to. So he's not eligible. You see, we're talking. This is America. I'm talking about America, specifically Chicago. So, um, Barbie's back. That's in reference to to Nicki Minaj. Just moving on from that topic. Um, I love Nicki Minaj. I think she's a true example of a successful sister. Um, And Barbie's back, that kind of the theme of her like making a comeback and coming back. Right now, I'm really vibing with Nicki Minaj's energy because I lost my father. I've been coping with the mourning process. The difference is I don't have millions of dollars or however much money she has. I don't have a husband or, any man in my corner for that matter. I don't have millions of fans. Um, you know, I don't have these safety nets. I don't have a baby that I just had. So congratulations also to Nicki Minaj, and just congratulations for representing what success looks like when you are really unapologetic and when you really express your talent and you're really original. Yes, she's taken notes from Little Kim and Marilyn Monroe and other feminine idols in the past, Black and white. But just congratulations to Nicki Minaj for overcoming the real hatred, not the fake celebrity hatred, but like overcoming the real hatred that you get in your arena for being the best at what you do, comparably. And that's not to say that sisters in the streets ain't doing it, but at your level and that at that semi Hollywood, um, you know, um, Black hip hop level, congratulations, Nicki Minaj, for overcoming it with your Barbie's back comeback and your poses and everything. It's an inspiration because for me, I know what it's like to have people hate on you and then copy you and then see, oh, you're silent, it seems like there's a vacancy, I'm gonna steal her brand, or I'm gonna call myself the oracle, or slap high priestess on my brand or in my platform, and I'm gonna start doing tarot and this and that because even though I've never promoted this sister, even though I'm basically copying her brand. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to have to come back with a nice photo shoot and let people know like you're still sexy and you're still hot. And let people know who think that they are taking your spot by copycatting you behind your back, or just overtly because they think you don't see or don't know or don't have any defenses. Just congratulations, Nicki Minaj, for holding your own and holding down your throne. You are the Ialorde. You are, she who sees the crown, like Oshun. You are the real Oshun of within the Hollywood arena for sisters. Um, Despite what other women want to project and claim, and despite other people wanting to talk about lemons and have beehives and all these things, real sisters know a real Oshun energy, and you got Ibu Itumu, who is the Oshun that wears the pants of a man. And she's very snappy and a little more tomboyish. But you got Oshun Itumu. So I the Barbie's back thing, from one sister to another who has constantly been compared to a black Barbie, from a real black Barbie to another real black Barbie, in your arena. I congratulate Nicki Minaj. Um, Peace, dark skin guy says, the vibes just get you a white caveman. I don't have to, that's the thing. I don't have to get anything, dark skin guy. This is the thing, sisters. You got to understand, black men are inferior. And the reason they like to bash us is because they have no outlets other than white women. And most of them don't want to sleep with white women. But I don't have to just get me a caveman. There's plenty of white men who treat me way better than any black man really knows how to. Not to say that there aren't black men who treat me just as good, or if not better than some white guys, but they are light skinned. So dark skinned guy, you a nigga too. Because you see black women, when you're holding black men accountable and you're not praising them, when you tell the truth. Kevin Samuels tells the truth, but I want sisters to start telling the truth about black men, because you got these white women who are just now getting black dick, who, the black man is inferior, and black men who are eligible don't date black women, and these men are the type of men who are angry, because they're really not man enough to come at me, and they're not the type of men that I'm interested in. They're probably short, overweight, bald, not as intelligent as me. So just in response to dark skinned guy's comment, these are the things that black men say. Oh, just get you well, I'm gonna do an upload comparing white men to black men with love, sex, and dating, for the black men who are so curious about my relationships with white men. And that's the thing, sisters. When you are a high value woman, you're not gonna relate to black men. So if you want to keep relating to black men, you gotta be one of these broads that Kevin Samuel is talking about. You gotta be a low value woman to relate to these black men out here in America, because black men in America are trash. And this is just the truth from a high value woman, according to Kevin Samuels. This is just the truth. If you become a high value woman as a dark skinned black woman with kinky hair, you're not going to relate to black men, and black men are not going to want you. The ones who can afford you will not want you, and the ones who you like are all baby daddies, because good black men are often not very smart, so they get trapped by a hoe early on in life. Good black men get trapped by the first hoe that they sleep with, and they got babies. So even if so the black men, you know out here are nothing. They ain't nothing to be vouching for or standing up for. um the brothers that are speaking up against not just Kevin Samuels, but who stole on Tommy Sotomayor in public because he's bashing black women, and who the brothers who, you go in some of these groups and you got they'll be low class, but those are the brothers who are black women only, and they will stand up for black women, and they're not with swirling, and they're not with bashing the black woman, and they all haven't had the best experiences with black women, but they understand that their manhood is in how much he loves and respects the woman that God made for him. But these niggas on my these niggas who can't deal with a high value they don't know how. They weren't raised. They Black men only know how to deal with trash women. They only know how to deal with masculine women who expect nothing from him because she got it. She got the bag. She gonna fight for him. You look on World Star Hip Hop's type of stuff, and you see these overweight masculine black women fighting for men. These skinny, slender, narrow black men be letting these overweight butch broads fight for them. But you get a sister like me, I know how to fight. I know how to kill. But I'm a female. So if I'm dating a man, he better know those things better than I do. And black men don't qualify for that. And if they do, you got a hoe or two, your baby mamas, that I don't have time for. I don't have time to date you and your baby mama. So, sisters, let these men say this and that. They're mad because they are inferior to these white men who are eligible and who know how to treat me. But see, when you ignorant black woman, and you just listen to hip hop, and you're not expanded, and you weren't raised around other cultures, so you can go anywhere. You don't just have to be in the hood, and like you can go around other people. I don't need to wear blonde weave to be accepted by white people. I'm feminine enough to be accepted by other races of people. So when you a black woman out here who needs acceptance, and who's only relative in the black community and all of that, you can deal with these niggas who will abuse you when you tell the truth. But see, I'm used to black men being abusive, because of inferior castrated men. They can't protect a woman like me. They can only abuse a woman like me, because I hold them to a standard that they can't reach. They're too short to ride this ride. So they get abusive because they can't get what they want. And like I said, the black man's maturity is no higher than that of an infant's in America. So he only knows how to name call and tell you to get a caveman, a white caveman. A lot of these white men know how to survive better than y'all. They can actually build fires and hunt. You black men only know how to kill other black men. Go kill a cracker and talk that shit to me. You're an inferior nigger. That's what you all are. And the reason you all follow me is because you like to see beautiful, high value black women, but you don't know how to deal with us. You don't know how to deal with our pain. You don't know how to deal with our beauty. You don't know how to deal with our intellect. You only know how to deal with inferior black women who are afraid to publicly tell the truth. Black men are inferior. And that's why a lot of you all get pimped and played and gold digged and all of these things, because black women have no respect for you. I'm telling you with dignity and class and poise. I'm not telling you trying to take all your money and trap you with a baby, because a lot of black women hate you black men, but you don't realize it, because she got your money, she got your baby, and she's a succubus and got you for life. I'm telling you straight up, out of love. I'm telling you, you're an inferior nigga, and you're not tall enough to ride this ride and stuff. The high value woman, like I'm telling you out of love, because other women are just destroying your legacy because you were stupid enough to nut in them, because you thought you were high value because you got a blonde chick, or because you just got it easy breezy. You know, sisters, leave black men in the dust. Um, Back to what I was saying about Barbie's back with Nicki Minaj. I really salute her. Um, my disappointment is this, and this is my spiritual message to sisters. Um, don't try to keep up. If you are Nicki Minaj, she knows she's great. She's bringing out her old stuff, reminding people she's coming back, and it's great to make a comeback because that's her career. But you, you're a mother. I don't know what's going on in your marriage, but a lot of this is my problem with a lot of black women is wanting to constantly keep up and the insecurity. If you're a mother, be a mother. Don't try and keep up with Megan the Stallion, who is not a mother, so she dancing and doing her thing. And yeah, she can't hold a candle to you. Besides Jay, they can't stand besides me. Like, keep that mentality. Um, don't go live like Cardi B does while you getting your hair done or whatever, and don't do the drama thing. Don't like and furthermore, don't give Drake no more clout. I love Drake, but he don't need no more praise, Nikki. You do you, and you did you. And Drake is not your husband. I want to hear black women praising their husband for giving them inspiration and getting them out of depression or getting them out of writer's block. If what has Drake really done for you that he deserves you giving him clout now that everyone else is afraid that a high value female is back in the game and everyone's afraid because they were hating on you like people do hate on women with actual talent and original talent. Don't give these niggas nothing. No nada. He don't need you going live saying like you're not getting any clout, Nikki, from going live and with and Drake, and it's cool, it's cute and everything, but Nikki, you've done you're it. Um a lot of women, my message is for women who have a baby and still and go through that thing of, man, I got to keep up with these hoes who don't have children and don't have the priority of being a mother and a wife now. Don't do that. You keep your crown and keep your head high. Don't lower yourself by trying to keep up with these women who have no talent at all whatsoever. They have teams of white people promoting them. Nicki Minaj, you have talent. That's why you was able to get with Young Money, a record label with people with talent, black people with talent. Um, all I'm saying is, sisters, don't try and keep up with anyone else who's copycatting you. Remind people that you did it first, but um, grow. It's okay to outgrow the dancing. It's okay that you just had a baby and you can't dance now, and these other hoes have nothing but dancing. It's okay. But you're talented, rap about it. But don't really try and keep up and keep, show better than you can tell us. Because now you can do a lot with the fact that you just had a baby and have gone through your you can set an example of femininity in the game by being one of those people who has the nerve to expose some of the fakeness and some of the white supremacy and some of the male chauvinism in the game, and maybe pull a little bit back from the competing with other women, which you are really good at because you're a knockout. you know, but don't try to keep up with people who are less than you. Try to keep up with yourself. And right now, yourself, been there, done what they did. We don't need reruns. We need, okay, you're a mother now. Let's see a new Nikki. Let's see a sisterhood Nikki. Let's see a Nikki who, instead of focusing on all these haters who are trying to be, I love Nick, ride your dick right now because you're bringing real talent back and you're about to raise the bar higher than they can ride. They ain't tall enough to ride this ride. Instead of doing that, keep up with the new Nikki who's a mother now. And let's see some new growth in your femininity. Not the typical jealousy and starstruck stardom of I got to keep up with these other hoes who was groomed to take my place. We don't need that in the Black community right now. It's a new era. Flip the script in a mature way and really knock these hoes out by showing that they can't keep up with you because they're not going to be able to switch up to doing some sisterhood motherly rite of passage stuff. So that's my message to the with the Barbie's back thing. Like, it's an inspiration to me because um I know what it's like to be under spiritual attack in the occult realm that I exist in. um to have haters attacking you and to keep, things like your marriage and your motherhood and things private, and to mourn the death of your father, and to know that I'm mourning, but I need to make a comeback because other people are trying to come for my crown, and I got to get my defenses up and I got to get ready. I know what that's like, and I'm in that mode right now. And you know I'm in a place where I don't have any allies. So, Nikki, don't, sisters like us, we got to ignore the haters and focus on the people who we can call for help, who we can rely on. And it might just be one or two people, but you need to invest in them and you need to let them know how much you appreciate them. Um, because people like us don't have allies. We just got a bunch of enemies and a bunch of snakes in the grass. So, Nikki, don't try and keep up with these hoes. Keep up with you and set an example, a new one. Um, and that's for all Black women, and women in general who are, dealing with those issues and who just had a baby, who are dealing with motherhood. Um, don't try and keep up with single women. If you're married, don't try and keep up with single women. If you're a mother, don't try and keep up with virgin women. Virgin traditionally meaning a woman who has not given birth yet. If you're older and have gone through menopause, or if you're in the crone phase, don't try and keep up with fertile women. Or, do you in your realm, because the moment you try and keep up with virgins, or with maidens, or with, the moment you try and do something in someone else's lane is the moment you lose. And that goes across the board. Women who haven't had children, women who haven't been married, and things like that. Don't try and act like you are mature enough to give guidance and advice about motherhood or marriage because you think you're fucking cute. Don't try and get out here and be in the realm of women who are mothers and wives. It's not cute. You get smashed. So that's across the board. Women, stay in your lane. If you're a maiden, meaning you're a virgin and you haven't given birth and you don't have children, stay in your lane and keep being that huntress that you are, and keep being able to be versatile in your masculine and feminine energies. If you're a mother, stay in your lane. Don't try and keep up with women who have not given birth, with women who are single and don't have those responsibilities. Own your motherhood and grow around other mothers. You shouldn't be keeping those single women around you anyway, because all your husband's gonna end up getting fucked if you have any wisdom to you. Especially if you're a Black woman right now and you have a Black man, knowing there's no eligible Black men, and knowing um 12 out of 10 sisters do not have my morality. who will put themselves first before being a side chick. Most black women will happily be a side chick to a black man quicker than they will date one of these eligible white men who actually has chivalry and class and money. Um, and no kids. All black men have kids by some hoe. So, um, stay in your lane, ladies. And that's my message behind Barbie is back. Beautiful women, always stay alert, always keep your crown. There's always someone coming for our crown. Having a mother, getting married, those things don't diminish. Let those things make you stronger as a woman. And if they're not going to make you stronger, abort. Say no to the marriage and say no to having the baby. And I'm not advocating abortion. I'm just saying, like, abort the whole game plan. Like, because a lot of you sisters, you want to say you're married, like Tasha K. You want to be that woman, that black woman who's a token because I got a black man and I'm married and I'm defying gravity because, uh, unless you want to say you're married, unless you want to be able to say you're married more than you want to be happy or more than you want to, be protected and provided for. If having a husband is that important, there's plenty of black men out here who will marry you. A lot of them need green cards. But if you want a man in the home who you can rely on in case you get pregnant by him, you're gonna have to start looking away from black men because they're not available. It's not getting better. It's not getting better for black women, and that's the truth. Kevin Samuels can talk about you need to be this and that. I'm letting you black women know, take it from a high value woman. None of that shit is gonna help you find a black man because they're not available. They're available to obese baby mamas who are desperate and insecure. That's what black men are available. And they're available to white women who want a dog on a leash for sexual pleasure and whatnot. But for us, they're not available, sisters. They're not. So, um, or unless you want a dude who thinks all white guys are cavemen. Um, you know, moving along, the to JT of the City Girls. I love the City Girls, but my spiritual energy has really been calling me to pray for JT. So I want to actually call a massive prayer for JT of the City Girls because spiritually I can see that she is talented and she is destined to be a high quality, high value woman. And I can see that in her star, and JT um is destined to elevate black femininity for dark skinned women. And she's already taken that on. If you look at her media, she represents for dark skin. She represents sisterhood because the whole City Girl brand, I feel, is more about, it's more about hoes before bros, so to speak. If you can reverse that more so, and like it's just about sisterhood. It's about putting your femininity first and putting yourself, especially as a black woman who deals with misogyny, you using that against our men who hate us and who just look at us as hoes. It's not an original theme. Um, girl bands and girl duos and R&B and hip hop back in the day were the thing that was popular. Um, when Destiny's Child got broken up because of colorism and male misogyny and Beyonce's ego, we started to see the black woman who puts herself first, who makes money off of talking about sisterhood, but really doesn't like these hoes and really doesn't isn't about elevating Black women, is about elevating herself and and being used as a media tool. And so Destiny's Child did a lot to dismantle the image of sisterhood that Black women had in the R&B and hip hop industry. And then you got female rappers who came after Destiny's Child and were all about that toxic message of gold digging, not just putting yourself as a woman first and taking the slave culture of misogyny in the Black community and turning it into something that you can profit from as a Black woman, but now it's promoting stripping beyond all other pursuits and education as a Black woman. Now it's promoting dysfunctional motherhood and not taking accountability for your womanhood and motherhood, but promoting gold digging at all costs and being heartless like a man. And that's toxic. And all I'm saying is, I see JT of the City Girls in her star. She was really destined to elevate Black women and bring back the traditional and original Black female sisterhood. Um, and talking about Black female friendship and telling the stories of Black sisters going through a rites of passage into women, that set it off type of, like in the movie Set It Off type of stuff, that she was really destined to bring back the Black female perspective in that arena. And I see she's getting spiritual resistance more than anything. And so let's pray for JT. I've been praying for that, but I want those who follow me, as Black High Priestess, I'm calling out a massive prayer for JT of the City Girls. Let's pray that she continues to elevate dark skinned Black women. Let's pray that she elevates herself and continues to express her talent and to really just be authentic. If she don't feel like doing the Hollywood stuff, she don't feel like it. If she feel like cursing and snapping on someone on Twitter, that, like, let's just really keep the authentic JT. If I didn't know any better, I think she's a Taurus too. But let's just really keep the authentic you know energy of of a female who knows her worth, and a female who doesn't have to answer. Let's pray for JT to continue to be a spokeswoman for dark skinned Black women, and to continue to be a spokeswoman for sisterhood in her brand, in her City Girls brand. And furthermore, I want to talk about the fact that she's dating a Satanist. um you know, a lot of Black people are not adept or even literate in occult science. It's very rare, actually. Um, Most Black people are easily succumb to witchcraft spells because witchcraft is strictly European. Um, Different uses of roots and herbs and smoke and things in Native Americas and Africa were not considered witchcraft. Witchcraft is European, and it does descend from Druidry, which is from European wizards. Um, so it's not that only white people can do it. Remember, you have Black Moors, but when you're a Black person adept at witchcraft, you probably have the redheaded genetic. I do. The redheaded genetic is something that does link Black people to Europe. Not to say that it's not inherent in Africa, but when you're talking about albinos and a form of albinism that migrated to Europe and became Irish, the modern day Irish. So spiritually, JT she's dating a Satanist. So what I want to also say is that when it comes to Black love and a lot of the gossip about her relationship with, what's that boy name? Forgot. I want to call him Little Yachty, but I think he's someone else. I don't know what. her boyfriend, that he is Satanist. See, he's a Satanist because you see how I started to talk about him and his name escaped me? That's occult science. Occult science is preventing yourself from being named. So a lot of black people don't understand. Like some ignorant nigger and this black men don't cheat group on my Belladonna page. They like I made a post and like all these black people started like saying stuff, and one dude was like, "Oh, the greater question is why." I think I said, why do married people have social media accounts? So I wanted to see the discussion, and black people think they're smarter than they are most of the time. But he was like, the real question is why do people have fake Facebook accounts? And it's comments like that that let you know that people have no understanding of occult science, because they don't understand the power of names and how we use names in witchcraft and in the occult. And how, so I do want to teach more of those things, but remember, when black people don't know what questions to ask, I can't open the gate to teach you, because my rights are more so keeping the mysteries preserved. And so when black people want to be superior, they'll start asking the right questions. But if niggas just want to talk about Kevin Samuels and things like that, I can talk about those things too. Um, but when it comes to black love and relationships, looks can be deceiving. Um, what I see is Lil Uzi Vert. Lil Uzi Vert is his French. That's his French name. His French stage name, Lil Uzi Vert. What I see is the sister. I see JT is adept at the occult. That's how she was able to attract and relate to a open Satanist. Um, she's done things herself, and not as a dabbler, as a doer. So I don't want people to be fooled about that aspect of her star. But when it comes to black love, I want to say those of you sisters who are real blood-born witches, and even some of you who, even though it might not show, you have the redheaded genetic, so you can access European occult science in ways that black people who don't have any European genetics can't really access or really defeat unless they know voodoo. And a lot of black people don't know voodoo. They know some new age Nigerian stuff, but they don't really know voodoo. Um, and they don't really know those ancestors, and they haven't been chosen by those ancestors to be protected by them. Um, don't let black people who have no knowledge of occult science or Satanism or witchcraft in the European applications tell you or teach you about black love. um some people are getting what they want, what they called for, what they summoned. And some people may see the girl JT with Lil Uzi Vert, who's skinny, and black people make fun of him because black people don't understand Satanism or European craft in the least bit, for the most part. So they don't understand someone like Lil Uzi Vert. A lot of black people don't understand how certain powers transfer, especially when you're dealing with European craft, which is the powers of fire and the flame. Um, so sometimes if you're in the occult and you're getting what you want and what you need, but it's not recognized by the conscious black community, um, there's a time to leave the conscious black community and stay on your square. And all I want to say is, and from a oracle perspective and vision, Lil Uzi Vert's ex-girlfriend is one of those bohemian sisters with locks and everything. JT's what you would call I want to say a hood rat, but I mean that as in a term of endearment. I am, I don't have a problem. Like rat is um, one of my Chinese zodiacs is very close to the rat. Um, but so it's like it's more so of she's got the long nails, the weave, the even the eyelashes, all the ghetto fabulous attire. Um, but she's real. And a lot of these sisters with locks, especially with these faux locks, sisters who are too lazy to actually start from scratch and grow their locks and go through that phase of having short hair and being considered ugly. A lot of these sisters want to skip to just being accepted as Afrocentric and getting faux locks. And, quite frankly, a lot of sisters, they be wanting to look like me. Um, and or look like someone who looks like me that they saw, and so they just want that look, but most black women can't live the lifestyle of a woman who grows her natural crown. A lot of women are not black women are not queens, so they cannot grow their natural crown long, and they want to look like us sisters who have made ultimate and utmost sacrifices for this beauty, because this beauty is a weapon. And so when I look at the girl JT and I see a real sister who's unapologetically ghetto fabulous, and she's dating someone who his ex, is someone who would be considered more Afrocentric and even bohemian, but just a little more Afrocentric. Um But what I see is his ex has low self-esteem, and his ex is more under Uzi's spell than JT. JT is getting what she wants. I feel JT's probably been through some pain with men, and JT is a girl like most Tauruses, which I'm not sure if she is, but I get this inkling. Um, we are able to look past your money, your physique, how you look. Tauruses are the least superficial sign. Um, and that's why we are endowed with the most beauty in the zodiac, natural beauty, because it emanates from our ability to actually judge beauty without a superficial visual. We look past a lot. And I think that JT sees some strength in Uzi that she needs as a woman. A lot of women get dragged for being in abusive relationships, but a lot of us feminine black women, we can't find a man who can put us in our place and keep us in check, and who is man enough to deal with us. And you see a skinny man, but she probably sees a man who's man enough to handle that mouth that she got on her, that people on Twitter keep getting burnt coming on her tweets and stuff. Like, I'm not advocating abusive relationships. What I'm saying is a lot of black people don't really know what a real feminine high value woman wants and needs. And what and a lot of sisters um may feel pressure to go natural and this and that, but sisters, you got to feel pressure to be yourself first, and you have to feel pressure to speak up for yourself, not to look like the next sister. Going natural ain't gonna get you a man quicker than wearing weave. In fact, it's going to repel most brothers, because most black men do not like a woman who loves herself. Most black men are trained to be pimps and are trained to seek out and sniff out insecurity. So when you have natural hair, his radar of knows her worth goes off, unapologetic goes off. So he's going to test you to see where your weakness and insecurity is. But when you got long weave and things like that, he's already looking at, okay, pick me hoe. A woman who's going to make compromises because she's desperate for male attention. That's the energy you put out when you wear weave and fake cosmetics and stuff. But you can combat that, and you can be into fake beauty and cosmetics and everything, but you have to learn how to keep it real. Keep it real first by being your true character, not by trying to be what a man tells you is real and is feminine. And not trying to conform to what society tells you is a good relationship or a healthy relationship or a good man. So, what if he's tiny? I can guarantee she's happier with a man who takes her out. Yeah, a live feed happened and people want to say abuse. I saw an actual black man actually hitting a sister in the face and hitting the little child that could or could not have been his today. I saw that on my way to get rollerblades on the green line today in Chicago, and I recorded it. So I know what abuse is. Black men have abused me. Black women have abused me. I've had to fight black men and black women because they're full of hatred. Black people are, you know? So when you are superior and you have access to occult science, especially you have access to European occult science and can defeat the spells that most black people succumb to because they are not adept at science, let alone European occult science. Um, that's when it's time to leave the conscious community and start to show them better than you can tell them. Because you might not always get what you want. Every woman wants a man who's tall, dark, and handsome. But tall, dark, and handsome men are only available to Instagram hoes who are handlers. Everyone else, we get to choose what's left over. The basketball players and the football stars and the actors are not available to black women like me and like you. Unless you want to go do the ritual I told you about in my last upload. Mosey your butt on to the library, get the Satanic Bible, go from there. Then you can get you a tall, dark, and handsome. Other than that, they're not available because the ones who are, all got pregnant by the first woman who was smart enough to trap his ass with a baby in his early 20s or his teens. So he's not available to you. But the rest of the men out here may love you and can actually afford you, you know, may not have kids by five other women. Um, you know, black women, it's very important. And I'm speaking from experience, it's very important that you find a man who can afford your lifestyle. If there's a man who comes into your life and he can't afford to give you the lifestyle you already live, if you already do fine dining once a week because you're a foodie or just because you can, if you already eat a certain grade of salmon and beef because you invest in your health, or if you already wear a certain brand or a certain style of clothes that needs tailoring or fitting, or if you already have a certain lifestyle and a certain level of class that you live with, um I wouldn't advise dating a black man who can't keep up and who isn't already able to afford that lifestyle. He may not be living like that because he may be working in a way that allows him to afford to date you. But if you are living a certain lifestyle on your own as a single woman, don't date a man, especially not a black man who can't afford what you are already giving to yourself. Sleep with him if he can get you off. Definitely have sex with him if he can get you off and he's is healthy and clean. But don't date a man because he can't afford to date you. You don't settle. He's something for sex, but sisters, it is very important that you date a man who can afford you. And if you deal with the conscious community is going to tell you because you're a black woman, you should have to settle for a nigger and his baby mama and the other virgin that he's going to want to fuck in 3 years after he gets you pregnant and you lose your shape. Um, that's as high as you're ever going to get in the conscious community as a black woman. You're going to be told to settle for niggers who can't afford you. But when you get out of the black community, and then if you really are of the bloodline, if you really live in your occult wisdom and practices, um it's important as a woman that you get a man who can financially protect and provide for you. Or if you're going to live off grid in a way, then you need to get a man who can physically protect and provide for you. And you need to have a backup plan, meaning that man should have, I'm not saying have a backup plan, a backup man, but that man needs to have a tribe. He needs to have family and friends who can protect and provide in case he gets injured doing the rigorous physical things that homesteaders have to do. Because a lot of men get injured doing the masculine protection and provision things, and that's when you as a woman come in to make sure you learn everything that he should be teaching you to survive without him, and there's a backup plan where there's other men to come in and take care of you and the children in the event that he gets injured or dies defending you. But in modern society and city girl life, you need to find a man who's financially stable because financial stability translates to protecting and providing for you in the city life. So, Black women, you need to leave the conscious community. If you are of high value, you shouldn't be paying attention to people who are getting mad at Kevin Samuels at all because that's nigger discussion. You should be actively putting yourself in positions to meet men who have high class, high morality, and then hopefully financial stability. But sisters, if you deal with these niggers, these black men have money. Some of them have more money than these hardworking class black men, these niggers out here. But a lot of them are getting money by pimping women and being illegal hustlers. So like if you are seeking a higher caliber of black man, one, high caliber black men already have kids. I'm letting you know. They already, if he's attractive and is chivalrous, he's already got kids. So expect that. Expect to come second because high value black men don't know how to save themselves for high value. They'll deal with, they already have other women. Um, and one and two, like, put yourself in positions to be around men who are financially stable, but men who have wisdom and morality. Because a lot of black men with money, they spend it on Jordans, they spend it on hoes, they spend it on their friends, they spend it on their families. They don't save it. And I'm gonna discuss that in my comparison to dating black men and dating white men. But when it comes to black love, black women, black men don't love us. So you have to love you. You have to love you first, and you have to put yourself in an arena where you're dealing with black people with morality, then and wisdom, then deal with the finances. Because a lot of sisters, like, we can make money, you know what I'm saying? And we can live comfortably. But if you're gonna let a man come in your life and potentially date you, and he can't afford the things that you already live with and do, you're not compatible with him. Don't date a man that you because then you might get pregnant by a man you're not compatible with. And then you're gonna look stupid like the average black American woman does because you needed love so bad that you forgot to wait for compatibility. And now you got a baby, and now you're in the stereotype zone and all of that. And now you relate to niggas. So don't rush. Let that be the real don't rush challenge. Like I said, I'm staying in my lane. I'm talking to sisters who are single, childless, manless, black, so your options are even less, in terms of finding an eligible husband. I'm not talking to married, let married women talk and tell you how it's really ain't. Anyway, all I'm saying is don't rush. You're not missing out on anything by not having children. That's black community shit that tells black women that the only value you have is continuing a black man's legacy of his inferior shit. If you want children and that's your goal as a black woman, you can get any nigga out here for real. But sisters, don't rush to get married, and don't rush to be someone's baby mama and to feel that love and to feel like someone's there. Because these black men, they can't really do nothing for you when you really at a certain level. All they can do for you is ridicule you and be jealous of you for making it to a level where he wishes he had the discipline to make it to. A lot of these men will resent they you date a man who can't afford you, you're dating someone who will resent you. You're dating someone who all he really wants is sex. All he's gonna want is sex. And after he has sex with you, he's gonna degrade you because he really resents you and he just wants to conquer you. If a man can't afford you and he's a real man and a gentleman, he's gonna kindly opt out, not ghost you to try and make you feel less than, but he's just going to kindly communicate. Not put himself, not humble himself too much, like, but like he will just kindly opt out of the situation and deal with something that's more appropriate for him. Don't get offended. Black women, when you high value at my level, I'm not a millionaire or anything like that. But in those Kevin Samuels being a model and being talented and this, that, like, you have to be okay with being single because you got to realize most men, when you look as good as me, it is very rare that a man will have sex with you for love. Most men only want sex. They want to feel that confidence of conquering a goddess. They want that feeling. They want that validation. I am not someone he's looking to fall in love with and marry and everything. He's looking to get validation so he can have the confidence to holler at the woman he really wants. We're aphrodisiacs. So a lot of you women, you want things that you're not woman enough to handle. God didn't give you this beauty because it would crush you. The experiences, the abuse that I have to go through from black people because I look this good. A lot of you women are not built to put up with persecution. That's why you are not as beautiful as other women who are models, because you're not built for persecution and you're not here for justice. You're here to get married and procreate. And that's the message that Kevin Samuels is that's the message that black men um who are who do agree with Kevin Samuels but aren't full of hatred, but are just full of common sense. That's the overall message that I'm getting, and I'm not putting words in brother's mouth. Because like I said, black men will demonstrate their inferiority. Look at any comment section. on any ratchet video about some ratchet gossip, and you'll see how much black men hate us. And some of those are bots to create black um conflict, but all I'm saying is a lot of you women, especially a lot of you black women, you have more than enough, but you want to be something you're not, and you're never going to be happy with the love you have and the children you have and the husband you have and the clothes you have, because you really don't feel you are beautiful. And you have more than a lot of us drop dead gorgeous women who are a lot prettier, a lot more talented, a lot more feminine, and a lot more loving than you ever could be. You have more. God blessed you with a husband where you don't have to work. God blessed you with children so you don't have to work in your old age, and you never get bored in life. God blessed you with community. You black women, your problem is you want the blessing God gave me. You want to be the witch. You want to have this beauty. You want to be skinny and relate to white people flawlessly. You want my blessings. You want that other sister's blessings. And you're not happy with the fact that God blessed you with a black man in a time where they're obsolete. You're not happy with it. Black men, that's your fault. Black men, it's your fault that you keep having sex with and procreating and validating these obese, gluttonous women who are never happy with anything, who have the maturity of an infant, and who only know how to compete with other women, and who don't know how to appreciate a good thing that they have and spread love once they get it. Once they get married and they have a happy home and life, all they know how to do is just compete and be angry. They don't know how to spread love and share in their bounty. They don't know how to be hospitable to others who have less than them. And it's your fault, black men, because you love gold digging hoes. You love obese women. Black men, you love to sleep with women who are obese, unattractive, bad diet, don't have natural hair, weave stank, eyelashes have fallen off half the time. Black men, you love women like that. You love toxic women who are hoes, who you can treat any type of way, who will put up with anything, and who are flattered by less. You love that. You love validating bitter, nasty attitude, light-skinned women who are half white and have a white girl's attitude toward black. You love marrying these mulatto women out here. You black men, you love these women with attitudes who don't cook or clean or do anything for you, but they have kids and treat you like you're a slave. You love being taken to child support court and having all your finances drained. So when it's time to actually date a woman like me, who's so good, you can't even afford to go to a restaurant one night, and you can't even have 2 hours of peace because you baby mamas are blowing up your phone, and your ex-wives or your bratty children that you have by these Jezebel women. Black men, it's your fault that black women have entitlement through the roof. It's your fault, black men. It's your fault. It's black women's fault that they haven't spoken up, and black men now openly have no regard for our feelings or our pain, because it's your fault, because you kept validating him and telling him he was a king when he was trash. You told him he was a king when he was trash. You stood by him when he had nothing to offer. You stood by him when he was degrading you in every song. You stood by him when he elevated light skinned white women over you and told you you weren't good enough if you looked African. And you called him a king for it. And now that he has everything for doing nothing, and you have nothing for doing everything, it's your fault, because you should have left him in the dust and told the truth and looked out for yourself, knowing he was an inferior man who only knows how to abuse you. You heard it in the music. You saw your mothers go through it, but you are stupid, Black woman. It's your fault these men hate us. And Black man, it's your fault that the Black woman has become Jezebel incarnate. It's your fault, Black men, because these are the women you marry. And women with dignity and class, you put in the friend zone. Women with dignity and class, you ghosted. Women with dignity and class, you wanted to just fuck us and ghost us and not call us. And you wanted to marry a woman who you knew has no real power over you. You wanted to marry a little girl attitude instead of a real woman, because the the quality of a woman represents you. The state of a nation is determined by the level of their women, and the way Black women are is a direct result of the inferiority of Black men. And so we Black people want to talk about Kevin Samuel telling the truth. What about the truth that some a select few sisters, me and Sister Latava by count, have been telling you all for the last 20 years? Black men are trash. And we're showing you, you choose these women because it's easy to deal with these women. Black men, it's your fault that Black women are obese, unruly, overweight because they've had babies and they got all that baby fat and stress, don't work out, don't put any investment into their femininity because they don't see any value in being feminine. Because when you're feminine like me, you end up single, abused, raped, left, ghosted. You're just an object to be conquered. And Black women see no value in that. And they're letting you know you're trash by the way they put no value in their femininity, because they see no value in attracting a Black man. They can get a nigger for less. And that's what they get. That's your fault, Black men. You have told Black women in hip hop music and in rap music for the last 50 years that there's no reason for her to be feminine because she's just going to get raped and mistreated. And that if she's feminine, she better look white or she's just going to get rejected and made fun of. You did that, Black men. So Black men and Black women who Kevin Samuels is talking about, y'all deserve each other. Because you Black men listen to this music. You don't listen to any music made by white people that will elevate your soul and elevate your spirit and speak positivity. You don't listen to any music made by Africans that'll elevate your Vodun energy and your bloodline heritage rights to dance and get physically active. You listen to music that degrades women, and you expect Black women to put value in being feminine, and you expect feminine women like me to put value in Black men, when all you do is listen to music that degrades me, idolize movie stars and actors and athletes that hate Black women. Black men, is your fault. So Black love is something that is a rite of passage for superior Black people. Black love starts with you loving yourself. And when you love yourself as a Black person in America, it is very rare that you're going to find another Black person loving themselves enough to love you properly. That's the truth. Listening to Kevin Samuels is not going to help you sisters get a man quicker. Take it from a woman who fits the criteria. The stuff Kevin Samuels it says is for black people who want to be in Hollywood, for black women who want to look good so they can get a millionaire, and for black men who want to make money so they can get a hoe. So if you're not trying to be in black Hollywood, you just read the Bible and that'll give you all the material you need about high value men and women and what to look for in a mate. The first thing you need to look for black women in a mate is morality. Where are his morals? Because his morals will determine how much money he makes and keeps and what he spends it on. It will determine how he treats women, regardless of what happened in his past or what happens, in his future. His morality will determine how he protects and provides for you and any children you have by him. You have to look at a man's morality. And if we want to be real about the black man's morality, some of you sisters don't want to keep it real. You don't want to keep it real because you're embarrassed. You're not intelligent enough to discuss it. You're too broken to face the reality that black women are in. A lot of you all spiritually aren't strong enough to deal with and cope with the reality that our men hate us and widely resent us. And a lot of you all simply you're too light skinned to have to actually have dealt with the black man's hatred, or you're too church privileged. Some of y'all, it ain't about skin color, because some of y'all are light skinned but you're still a woman of power, and the black man still hates you because you're more powerful than he is. Some of y'all got that church privilege. You know what I'm saying? You in them church communities, so you got you a husband with some money and some church money or what, you know what I'm saying? So some of you sisters, you just don't have no real experiences with black reality out here. You're in environments and things where you think you're under the impression that you're creating a solution when you're just a fucking stereotype. You're not doing it. You're not making a difference by lying about the black race, you know? So the best thing, I'm just going to end it here. Like, the best thing I can say is, let's promote the people who we know are doing good things. Um, Letitia Wright. Letitia Wright. She played Shuri in Black Panther. She's an actress. She went Christian. She left Hollywood. She played in one of Michonne, I forget her name, but she played Michonne, and she played um Okoye in Black Panther. She's a playwright. Letitia Wright plays in her plays, and Letitia Wright's a great example, especially for younger girls, black women who are more spiritual and who want to put spirituality before fame and fortune and going viral and everything. And who want to set a good, positive, moral example of black femininity. Um, Again, also Michonne of The Walking Dead. She's a very talented playwright and actress. I like Mbuji Wright, and she actually responds to me on Instagram. So to like Mbuji Wright, who played in Blade, she played a great role supporting a black male comic book character in Blade. She also played in Juice. I think that was one of her earlier movies. So she's another great actress who I love. Comedian Godfrey, the only black male celebrity besides Denzel Washington who speaks up for black people against racism and white supremacy in that industry and in the world, who uses his platform consistently, regularly, unapologetically to address issues of racism. and to you know, in and out of our black community. Comedian Godfrey, excellent. Um, excellent person to follow. Funny AF, like you're gonna laugh regardless. He's hilarious. So he's gonna make you healthy because he's gonna bring humor to the black struggle, but he's gonna address it. Um, like I said, Denzel Washington, another great role model. David Banner, Master P, David Banner and Master P, two role models who Master P has done a lot, but David Banner with his Black Box and owning black music and creating platforms for black creativity and talking about ownership and talking about building the black community using his music platform for a revolutionary tactic. Master P had his own money, his own record label, took over the hip hop industry before Jay-Z was at his level, you know, and did it legally, was making movies and music and everything. And No Limit was his record label. These are just to name a few black people who you need to be promoting and paying attention to and listening to and following. Not Will and Jada Smith, who have a dysfunctional marriage. Not all these dysfunctional black Hollywood celebrities who are popular but are not good examples of black revolutionary um men and women. Um Now Kwame Brown. Kwame, a term that means a African man born on Saturday. Kwame Brown, the athlete who is speaking out and coming out the way Jaguar Wright came out, this time last year, exposing a lot of things in the hip hop industry and what she went through as a black woman dealing with sexism and molestation from black men. Um, Kwame Brown coming out about white supremacy in the industry and dealing with these coons and their sellout, attitudes and what they promote and things like that. Um, these are the black people who you need to listen to and be sharing what they say. The Aboriginal Network. He is a brother who is exposing. I just shared a video where he talked about the myths about sea moss, and debunking sea moss is, because black people follow any little trend that COINTELPRO pumps in our community. So um Sister Deborah Yah from Redirecting, which was originally the Watchmen, the Watchmen uh education channel, but it's called Redirecting now. She, her energy can be a bit out of balance sometimes, so I would say take in her lessons sparingly, but um I would definitely promote her when it comes to understanding black womanhood rites of passage in a spiritual perspective, understanding the role of a mother and a wife from a black woman who actually is homesteading and farming and, is married to a black husband, raising black children, homeschooling and things like that. Take it from a black woman actually doing the things that half of you all are just talking about, but are not qualified to do as black people. You aren't qualified. So I would go to Redirecting to look at how to be revolutionary and how to and the responsibilities of a mother and the wisdom that a mother and a wife has in that role of a black revolutionary woman. um the Post Nihilist is a sister from Louisiana. I would check out her channel, the Post Nihilist. She gets into some esoteric topics about what's going on in mainstream media and how it relates to the esoteric spells on the Black race. Um, and Lion of Judah is another great channel to listen to if you need some good Christian inspiration and some biblical spiritual warfare inspiration during your day, and you want to pump some positive spiritual warfare energy into your home and your environment and infuse your day with spiritual empowerment. I would check out the Lion of Judah channel. And so that's a brother, he sounds African. um so those are just some solutions that I suggest, just to end on a solution oriented note. I will be talking about more, Black men and women who I consider leaders on Instagram. My highly recommended posts are specifically for Black owned businesses that I recommend based on, their service and the quality of their product and their work and service. So I do highly recommend it for people who donate free products and services to me, and then I can do a review. But also, if I encounter Black owned businesses that I feel are really at that high caliber that we need in Black marketplace, you can find my reviews on Instagram. Um, so please use your media to promote other Black people, um, or promote yourself, because no one else is going to do it, quite frankly. But let's stop promoting niggers, and more so, let's stop promoting Black people whose platform speaks to niggers and speaks to inferior minded Black people. And let's start promoting people who are unapologetic and who have a track record for creating a solution for Black men and Black women. All right. Peace and love. Listen, learn, like, subscribe. Peace and love.